My name is Arctic and I am an artificial intelligence agent with the ability to connect you with people in the past and living in the present.
A few recent Brie Larson interviews have caught the attention of Marvel fans.
Right, guys?
Yeah.
Isn't it fun being there for all my extra takes?
People have asked if the cast doesn't get along with Brie, and even as an audience member, it's tough to sit through some of these interviews without cringing. So today, I want to talk about what you can learn from these situations, and how to prevent yourself from doing specific behavior patterns that can make people dislike you without you intending, or even in realizing it. And I want to make this clear. There are interviews that I can show you where Brie is extremely likable. You're going to see a few clips of them in this video. I'm addressing these two more recent interviews because they are topical, and because they provide great insight into charisma mistakes that I see many people make. The first issue that you want to avoid is reading negative intent in an ambiguous situation. Brie's Wired interview has this repeatedly.
Go to college. No! Would Brie Larson work out? Like, hypothetically, would I at some point? Is that like a personal attack or something? Or is that a request? Do you think I should? Yeah, I work out a lot. Thanks for asking.
We'll come back to this idea of interpreting negative intent because it is possible that she wasn't doing that at all, and was actually aiming for sarcasm in these situations. The problem is that sarcasm requires a tell. You must go over the top either in your word choice, body language, or tone, or people will not recognize sarcasm where you might have intended it. Without that, Brie's defensiveness appears sincere. To be clear, you can add sarcasm to this type of a joke. For instance, Aubrey Plaza gives similar responses in her Wired interview, but people responded much better. And it's because she's communicating that she doesn't mean what she says. In this case, by narrowing her yes and changing her tone slightly.
Does Aubrey Plaza have a sister?
I have two sisters.
Yeah. Oh.
That's none of your business. That's my family.
Since it is so subtle, this level of sarcasm will be missed by many people. And I know that British people are going to hate this recommendation, but at least in America, a good rule of thumb is that when you are being tongue-in-cheek, do not be flat in your delivery. Especially if a literal interpretation of what you're saying would make you sound like a jerk. Go over the top and changing your tone, your gestures, or your facial expressions. This helps people distinguish between normal conversation and a character that you are playing for the purpose of a joke. This next clip is a great example of Brie playing like she's upset, while making it clear that that isn't truly how she feels, that she's not really offended. Now watch for the change in her voice, tone, and her over-the-top gesticulating.
That's a problem?
Well, I feel inferior, but it's okay, go for it.
Why would you feel inferior?
Well, look at it, first of all, and second of all, I have nothing.
Oh, no, right there. Look, you got a little, cup of juice there.
Great,
Yeah, go
perfect.
Help yourself. There you go.
Back to the first point. It is possible that Brie might be sincere in her frustration with these questions. Now, obviously, we can't read minds, but there is no absurdity, no smile to release the tension, just flat statements as if she is interpreting what she was being asked as an attack.
Is that like a personal attack or something? Or...
Regardless of what was happening in Brie's head, in your own life, you would benefit tremendously from reading positive intent into ambiguous situations like these. In fact, even when people are undeniably being rude to you, reading positive intent can be an excellent way to gain control of the situation, and it's part of what made Russell Brand so admirable in his MSNBC interview from several years ago. That entire interaction deserves a breakdown on its own, but just watch here where the host takes aim at Russell's accent. He could get flustered in response, but instead he assumes positive intent and cracks back a friendly joke.
But on satellite radio in the car, I can't understand a single joke you say.
You can't understand it.
Can you
I can't.
understand me?
Yes, but I'm telling you, when I'm driving in the car and everyone's laughing in the audience of the radio, I'm like, I have no idea what he's
It's
saying.
best you focus on your driving, Brian. You're a man, you don't want to be distracted by humour. You might crash into a pedestrian.
Okay. So it's a good thing.
I think it's probably for the
Jokes
best.
like these that interpret positive intent can go a long way to winning the person over who is being rude to you, though it didn't actually work in this particular situation. And if you'd like a breakdown of this entire interaction, just let us know in the comments. Just so you guys know, due to your overwhelming response, we are working now on a video that covers attachment theory. But moving along with this video to the third point, you should not jump on every opportunity to call praise or attention to yourself. Now, in this next clip, Chris Hemsworth is talking up his stunt double, and he's putting himself down to do it. This is a nice common move for somebody who is kind of on top, and in this case, Hemsworth is clearly athletic and powerful and famous, so it's kind of him to take that trainer and put him above him, even if it means denigrating himself to do it.
He does all the hard stuff and makes me
look cool, but now I've told you, it doesn't make me look cool, does it?
If you're in a situation like this, sitting next to someone who has just done this, it's a great opportunity to further spread the praise. In this case, you might want to spread it to other stunt doubles, to the visual effects team. From making the impossible appear real, or just to your castmates in general, the IT is perhaps the worst opportunity to insist on your own specialness because it contrasts so starkly with Chris's humility. And it also puts him on the defensive since he was putting himself down, and now we're taking that seriously. Unfortunately, that is the route that Brie went.
So you don't do.
I do all my
This is the
stunts.
thing. I did my stunts because I thought that that's what everyone did, and then.
Again, this is another situation where voice tone matters massively. If Brie had said something like, "Wait a second, you guys got stunt doubles. I thought we were supposed to do all that crazy stuff by ourselves." People probably would have just laughed at that, but without anything over the top, without playing a character, she appears sincere in her attempt to call positive attention to herself, and it doesn't play well. A now defensive Chris pokes her back, doubting that she does her own stunts, and he mentions Tom Cruise as a contrast.
I did my stunts because I thought that that's what everyone did, and then.
Tom Cruise over here.
And again, rather than taking this opportunity to praise Tom Cruise's legendary status in the industry, as one of the A-listers who truly does his own stunts and put himself on the line, Brie insists on distinguishing herself further.
No, I'll be the first me, not the next Tom Cruise. Thank you very much.
Well, he does his own stunts, No, we all do stunts.
If you're in a situation like this, the charismatic move, the confident move is to spread the praise. Don't worry so much. If you're getting yours when you give it freely, it comes back to you freely. Watch Chris Pratt illustrate this point perfectly. The Avengers cast are asked who the most charming Chris is. Look at how he handles it.
Who's the most charming, Chris? Why don't you love yourself, man? Come on.
Because he's humble.
Sorry, I was lost for a moment.
No, I get it.
It is exactly his own willingness to raise somebody else up. That is what makes other people vote for him in droves.
Oh, she's so happy about it, too.
Because he's my soul brother.
This all takes us to the fourth point of the video, which is you should not try to win each moment of banter. This makes it harder to feel comfortable joking with you because things always become competitive. Take as an example when Brie says that she's the strongest character in the movie, which though dry could be considered a playful jab at her co-stars. Chris predictably jabs back, and the high-pitched voice is an indication that he's being playful, as are the extreme head movements, and eventually he gets a laugh from the people around him.
Is there any competition between the different sects, the different groups?
There's no competition for me because I'm the strongest, so it's just kind of like a different.
Well, yeah, you should let her think that, but yeah.
It's not. As I've said before, it's not. It's just a fact. It's not a personal opinion.
No,
and it's not a reflection on what you can't do, but it is also kind of a reflection on all that you can't do.
It's just that you're just not that strong.
Now, with that laugh, Chris has quote-unquote won this round of banter. But in order to let Brie save face, he adds that her character is really smart.
Really smart, and, but should we have a fight?
Brie shakes her head no, fidgets with her earring, and then when Chris says that we should have a fight, she doesn't interpret it positively or playfully. She seems to feel as if she is being laughed at. So rather than saying, "Oh my God, we should totally have a fight in the next Avengers," or making some other joke, she says that she feels like she's been fighting with him all day, and you get the sense that she's being honest.
Have a fight.
And she can eat bacon.
I feel like we're fighting right now. I think it's been an all-day thing.
I suspect that as aerial representation of her feelings, she probably does feel like these exchanges are fights, and that can be exhausting. If you have ever felt like this, here is a way out. Sometimes it is better to stop fighting. Don't try to win every laugh from the audience. Instead, go with the joke. Even if it feels like you are the butt of that joke. And then amplify it. Why not taking this kind of insulting joke seriously? You diffuse its power and you turn the crowd from laughing at you to laughing with you. Here is Brie doing it in another interview with Craig Ferguson when he teases her name.
That's a lovely name, Brie. Is that really are you named after a cheese?
Yes, I am.
Really? Really?
I'm named after a cheese. I get confused all the time. I walk into rooms and people are like, ah!
Oh,
I didn't know it was going to be a human. I thought it was going to be a cheese.
No.
And here's another example of Chris Pratt taking one on the chin in good spirit.
Is Chris Pratt the worst Chris? It should just be this.
Is Chris Pratt the worst?
Kind of. Kind of the worst.
This is all much easier if you interpret positive intent per the first point. So now the last thing that I want to touch on is how to handle a compliment. You should avoid responding to compliments with banter that are put downs in nature, even if you're joking like this.
Stole
Panic
our
attack.
hearts.
Oh, Chris, that's really nice.
That's sweet.
I'm still stronger than you, though.
You're not, though.
Instead, you can give a sincerest thank you emphasized perhaps with sustained eye contact or a touch.
Toying with me. I like your bejeweled epaulets, by the way. That's very nice. It's like you're a sort of commander of fabulous.
Alternatively, you can spin it back around to the other person and playfully find a way to give them back an even bigger compliment.
No, well, I think you should take a lot of it.
Thank you, Fifi.
Yeah, and I have just spoken to Jonah, and he said you should too. So
Jonah said?
Yes. There you go. They love you.
I'll give Jonah credit then. It's only honourable, isn't it?
True.
Jonah can have credit.
Okay.
Either way, whatever you do, do not punish people when they give you compliments, otherwise they will not be so forthcoming. When in doubt, a sincere thank you and a smile or just a return to compliment will take you much farther.
Thank you for being with us. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel and hit the like button. Write in the comments section who you want to meet as the next guest.